by Jakub Mácha from University of Brno. And we talk about metaphorical mask capturing and concealing LLM creativity in art. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to give this talk here. I think most of what I'm going to present here has been already discussed today or yesterday. It's a part of a larger project. I had to skip. I have to remove some slides, so most of them. But then later I can provide it to you. So my aim in this project is to analyze metaphorical language in art discussions, mostly in academic art discussions, and see how is the role of large language models like current AI system shaped by metaphors so how we metaphorically frame the role of AI artists today. So the challenge is to detect ambiguities between a metaphorical and literal interpretations in this discourse, because if people make these claims, they are not really aware or didn't even refuse to acknowledge that they use metaphorical language. So they likely think that if they acknowledge the metaphorical character of their claims, that they would like diminish the cognitive value of this of their claims. So these are preliminaries. This used to be like 20 slides, which I compressed into one. So my approach to metaphor is a non-cognitivist, following Donald Davidson. Metaphors do not have clearly defined cognitive content. They rather invite us to see something as something else, and they are open-ended. The advantage of this approach to metaphors is that they don't usually they don't contradict to themselves, so we can use competing metaphorical framings without contradictions. So they complement, they constrain, or they can oppose each other, but it is still it can be allowed within one kind of one discourse. So we have metaphors of AI in general. We've discussed it here mostly yesterday. My point was that the very term artificial intelligence is a metaphorical term. We can discuss what the word artificial means. It means it can mean just a machine-made intelligence, or in my view, it means as a metaphorical trigger. So artificial intelligence can mean intelligence means metaphorically, and it's up to us how we now frame this metaphor, how we interpret it. So we have metaphors of AI already discussed, of stochastic parrots, hallucinations, which are anthropomorphizing metaphors, which usually try to express that AI systems are not human agents or not human agents alike. So there is kind of opposite, or even kind of contradictory intent. The next part of my paper is how can we express non-human agency, because that's the point here. Is our artificial system or large language models kind of agency, but without attributing them a proper human agency. So there are many philosophical approaches to non-human agency. I think the most promising today, or already discussed today or yesterday, is Latour actor network theory, or Jane Bennett vibrant matter. So that would be a philosophical background. How can we ascribe non-human agency to artificial systems? And finally, the notion of autonomy is mostly metaphorical in this discussion. So, if autonomy means the capacity to bring new rules or then we have to conclude that today's artificial systems are not creative or not autonomous in this system, in this way. But of course, we can interpret autonomy in a metaphorical way, and then it's open up again for creative process how we shape this. Like the opposite term would be automated, where we can of course say that large language models are working without human involvement after setting original parameter or after entering a prompt. They work coding precise rules, but then it's not it must not be confused with autonomy. So first two there will be 5 metaphorical alignments or metaphors, how we conceptualize or frame the role of artist in large language models. So these are 2 extreme alignments or 2 extreme metaphors, which might not be a metaphor at all. The artist metaphor and the tool metaphor. So the artist metaphor says large language models are artists if artists as if there were human-like. And the tool metaphor says they are mere instruments if they are machines. So if we consider large language models as machines without any human agency or human-like agency, then we can of course say literally they are tools. So both these framing can be taken metaphorically or literally. Let's look at their metaphorical framings. If we don't consider large language models as real or with mental states, as human-like, we can still metaphorically frame them as an artist, despite their non-human status. And again, on the opposite side, large language model can be used as instruments, even if they are something more than mere machines. We can also use, in a daily life, we can instrumentalize real people. So in a daily interactions without diminishing their humanity. So that enables us like more nuanced discourse about the role of AI in artistic production. Now, these are my 3 main metaphors, very recent. The first one is the collaborator metaphor. It says large language models are collaborators in AI-assisted productions. Here, the human artist is the main author, and the large language model is a contributor or collaborator. The main advantage of this framing is that it allows a nuanced or nuanced expression of how this collaboration might look like. So these are like 3 hierarchical kinds of collaborative involvement. It can be like the role of AI system can be framed as a collective authorship if the artist, the human artist, and the large language have shared intentions and, of course, shared responsibility. There is a co-creatorship where large language models can be seen as a craftsman. There can be some exchange of ideas between the human artist and the large language models, but still the main author is the human artist. And then can be a co-production where large language model is just like a mechanical worker, which just executes instruction given by the human artist. So, kind of critique. The strong collaboration implies creativity, awareness, but it risks obscuring the difference between human agency and AI agency, or human creative process in humans and in large language models in AI system. Of course, the agency, like artificial agency, is here possible, but then we have to use some of these philosophical backgrounds. How can we account for this non-human agency? So we can speak here, or we can talk here about agency in a metaphorical sense. The other issue with this metaphorical framing is a responsibility. With the weak collaboratorship, the responsibility is with the human artist, which is in our context not problematic. It can be problematic in other contexts, but the strong collaboratorship implies AI responsibility, or that the large language models are responsible for the output or for what they do. And this is, I think, inherently problematic, because responsibility is a social notion, not a psychological notion. So even if we accept that the large language models can have mental states in some, again, yet to be determined, yet to be specified way, then they definitely don't play the role of social agents in our society. Yes, it can change, of course. Large language models cannot be in our current society held accountable for what they have done. But again, this is yet. So, of course, if this is a metaphor, if this is not taken as a literal statement, responsibility can be even a metaphorical notion. So then we can look in Latour or in Bennett, and then there we can find approaches how to attribute responsibility to non-human agents. I think maybe Latour is the more promising way how to approach this. There is again a risk that attributing metaphorical responsibility to large language model can distort our social dynamics or ethical dynamics between the artwork. Of course, that would change a lot. Again, we saw this image yesterday. This is an example how can attributing responsibility and authorship to a AI-generated artwork distort like the art markets and even the notion of authorship within the artwork. So I won't go into detail. So the weak collaboration might be a solution, or might be preferable here, like in the original paper by Anscombe. We can frame AI AI as AI as generative and artwork as AI assisted. My second, it will be quicker. Metaphorical framing is a muse. Okay. Then muse is a catalyst. I will skip maybe a little bit, and muse. If we frame large language model as a muse, there is no, of course, no agency. Large language models in this framing can just inspire us and to do something, but we don't attribute any responsibility to them. Because there is a disadvantage of this framing. It downplays the active role which we see in a large language model. So they generate something, and this kind of generation is here lost. And my final framing is the medium of gardening, recently proposed by Young and Terone. The idea is that large language models are kind of new medium, and they can have a similar role like a nature in gardening, in an artistic gardening, when like a garden designer shapes the nature, but the nature has some uh, uh, kind of resilience towards what the artists do. So there is an opposing force in the nature, and the outcome is not always predictable. Jung and Terone frame this as a machina naturans, following Spinoza. I will skip it. I think this framing accounts very well for large language models' unpredictability, because again, like nature is unpredictable, like force of nature is unpredictable, even if it can be described in the end by like deterministic law. It's there is kind of unpredictable. It's like the element of temperature in large language models. We could see this yesterday, how they set up the when we generated the music, there was the parameter of temperature during the concert. Now maybe critique. If gardening in nature, if gardening can be seen as a medium, there is no real medium in large language models. They are text-based, and they still, or image-based. So the medium is still traditional. So where is this? So that's maybe a disanalogy. Okay, maybe my final conclusion. So this metaphor can highlight, even combine our creative, social, ethical roles of AI systems. There can be human-machine collaboration, this resistance, and social roles. What is my final conclusion? All these metaphors or metaphorical framings are taken from traditional art, like collaborator or craftsman or medium or muse. The challenge here might be, can we come up with metaphors which frame the role of AI systems which originate outside traditional art? Maybe something like prompt engineering, but not really. So that might be a challenge what we can think about in the future. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thanks for the talks. Questions?
Yeah, thank you, Jakub. This was very exciting. Two more remarks about the end of your paper. First of all, I very much sympathize with your conclusion. So I think this is a crucial point. So we should maybe, in order to frame this whole debate, stop thinking about art as some sort of atemporal, eternal, monolithic thing. So there are many, many forms of art, and maybe this is the most exciting thing that we are going to explore and make art in a new way. So this is also maybe something we should discuss. Maybe a critical remark about in the last but one slide, the medium criticism, when you said it's not really a medium because there's nothing new, it's text based. It's a little bit like saying that, I don't know, typography is not a new medium because it still has to do with letters. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that criticism. I don't think it holds very well. I think it's very not problematic to say that it is a new medium, and it's also very important to see what the relationship with the notion of tool is, because I think that they really are two incompatible paradigms. If you think about a medium, you're not thinking about a tool, and maybe that's a very good way of framing in your direction the discussion. So I don't know, maybe I mean that's the most problematic thing I saw in your paper. So I wanted to know why do you think it's not a new medium?
So the first point, like if we take the claim that AI systems are a new medium literally, then there is no new substance. That's again only a substance of that's still a substance of the traditional art. But we can, if we take it as a metaphor, then we don't need to worry about a new substance, or we can just say it medialize it works with the traditional substance like text or images, but still shape this as a new medium. I had here a bunch of slides which put all these metaphorical framings one to another, how they interact. So how tool metaphor or tool framing interacts with the medium framing. And again, they can complement somehow each other, and there are points of disagreement, because like the predictability, the tool must be predictable with few exceptions. Medium is not predictable. So this is like a point of divergence, but there are like point of like agreements.
Okay, thanks for the talk. Then, unless there are other questions, okay.